The Great Escape, 1963, remains one of the most iconic war films in cinematic history, featuring unforgettable performances from a legendary cast. Sadly, many of the actors who brought these characters to life have tragically passed away over the years. In this video, we honor 36 stars from the film, reflecting on their remarkable careers, the roles that defined them, and the lasting legacies they left in Hollywood. Join us as we remember these talented actors and the unforgettable impact The Great Escape has had on film history. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to celebrate their contributions. Steve McQueen, who portrayed Hilts the Cooler King in The Great Escape, 1963, was 33 when filming began. His character, known for his rebellious spirit and ingenious escape attempts, resonated with McQueen's own reputation as the King of Cool. However, McQueen's personal life was filled with turbulence. He married actress Neil Adams in 1956, but their marriage ended in 1972 due to his infidelity and emotional distance. His second marriage to Ollie McGraw, which began in 1973, also ended in 1978, partly due to McQueen's struggles with fame and addiction. McQueen's health took a severe turn when he was diagnosed with mesothelioma, a cancer linked to asbestos exposure. His battle with the illness was swift, and he passed away on November 7, 1980, at the age of 50, after undergoing surgery. His tragic and early death left Hollywood mourning the loss of one of its most iconic stars, who had fought personal demons while embodying a legendary, indomitable spirit on screen. Richard Attenborough, who portrayed Bartlett Big X in The Great Escape, 1963, was 40 when he began filming. His character was the steadfast leader, a mastermind behind the escape plan, much like Attenborough's own dedication to his craft. Attenborough's personal life was marked by profound grief, especially following the tragic death of his daughter, Jane, in a car accident in 2004. He was deeply affected by her passing and struggled with depression. Despite this, Attenborough continued to work and later directed Gandhi, 1982, which won him multiple awards. However, his personal and emotional toll from these tragedies never truly subsided. He passed away on August 24, 2014, at the age of 90 from heart failure, a poignant end for a man whose career had spanned decades of both great successes and personal sorrows. Attenborough's legacy as an actor and filmmaker was forever overshadowed by the personal tragedies he endured, making his passing bittersweet. James Garner, who played Henley the Scrounger in The Great Escape, 1963, was 35 when filming began. Henley was a smooth-talking, resourceful prisoner, reflecting Garner's natural charisma, but his off-screen life was filled with struggles. He had a tumultuous relationship with his first wife, Lois Clark, yet they stayed together for over 5 decades, despite challenges, including his health problems. Garner's career was often interrupted by personal and professional difficulties, including multiple surgeries in his time serving in the military during the Korean War, which left him with physical and emotional scars. In his later years, Garner's health continued to decline due to heart issues. He passed away on July 19, 2014, at the age of 86 from a heart attack caused by coronary artery disease. Despite the personal hardships he faced, Garner was beloved for his humor, wit, and enduring charm, making his death a significant loss in the entertainment world. James Donald, who played Ramsey the SBO in The Great Escape, 1963, was 46 when he began filming. His character was a dignified and authoritative British officer who played a key role in maintaining order among the prisoners. Donald's own life, however, was far from orderly. His marriage to French actress Dani Robin ended in divorce, and his career often saw him typecast in serious roles, limiting his opportunities. In his later years, Donald battled stomach cancer, which took a significant toll on his health and spirit. Despite his struggles, he continued to act, but the illness ultimately overcame him. James Donald died on August 3, 1993, at the age of 76, after a painful battle with cancer. His death marked the loss of a steady presence in British cinema, a man whose quiet dignity on screen contrasted sharply with the personal turmoil he faced off-screen. Charles Bronson, who played Danny Tunnel King in The Great Escape, 1963, was 42 when filming began. His character was a tough, determined man skilled at digging tunnels, but Bronson's real life was filled with psychological and emotional struggles. He married actress Harriet Tendler in 1953, but their marriage ended in 1965, partly due to Bronson's rising fame and emotional distance. His second marriage to actress Jill Ireland was marred by Ireland's battle with cancer, which devastated Bronson, as he was deeply involved in caring for her during her illness. After her death in 1990, Bronson's own health deteriorated, and he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. He passed away on August 30, 2003, at the age of 81, from complications related to pneumonia. His death was a somber end for the legendary action star, whose career had been defined by both the toughness of his on-screen persona and the vulnerability of his off-screen life. James Coburn, who played Sedgwick the manufacturer in The Great Escape, 1963, was 35 during filming, and his portrayal of the resourceful, inventive Sedgwick showcased his acting range. Despite his success, Coburn's personal life was filled with turmoil. His first marriage to actress Paula, with whom he had one child, ended in a painful divorce after 20 years. Throughout his life, Coburn struggled with severe health issues, including chronic arthritis, which led to debilitating pain and depression. These physical struggles, coupled with an emotional distance from his family, left him feeling isolated. Though he enjoyed a revival in his career later in life, Coburn's personal battles never fully resolved. His sudden death on November 18, 2002, at the age of 74 due to a heart attack was a tragic conclusion to a life of personal and physical hardship. Donald Pleasence played Blythe the Forger in The Great Escape, 1963. At 44, Pleasence's portrayal of a quiet, intellectual forger was a key part of the film's success, despite his declining eyesight. However, his personal life was filled with hardship. Pleasence was married 4 times, and all his marriages ended in divorce. His first marriage to actress Miriam Raymond resulted in 2 children but ended after 10 years, and subsequent marriages brought more turmoil. He struggled with loneliness, which was compounded by depression and health problems as he aged. Pleasence's isolation grew after his final divorce in the early 1980s, and although he was beloved by his fans, his later years were a stark contrast to his on-screen persona. His death on February 2, 1995, at the age of 75, following complications from heart surgery marked the end of a complicated life filled with professional triumphs but personal tragedies. Hannes Messemer played von Luger the Commandant in The Great Escape, 1963. He was 39 when he portrayed the camp commandant, a character whose complexity mirrored Messemer's own struggles. Despite being a respected actor in Germany, his personal life was marked by chronic issues. His first marriage to actress Gisela Berghammer ended in divorce, and his second marriage was similarly troubled. Messemer also struggled with alcoholism, which contributed to a long battle with depression. His personal demons, combined with declining health, led him to withdraw from the public eye in his final years. Despite his professional success, the emotional pain from his personal life overshadowed his achievements. His death on November 2, 1991, at the age of 67 from a heart attack was the tragic culmination of a life marked by isolation, addiction, and emotional despair. David McCallum played Ashley Pitt Dispersal in The Great Escape, 1963. McCallum was 30 when he played the strategic and intelligent Ashley Pitt, and his performance became iconic. However, his personal life was filled with emotional turmoil. His first marriage to actress Jill Ireland ended after years of public drama, including Ireland's affair with actor Charles Bronson. This divorce deeply affected McCallum, who struggled with depression and loneliness in the years that followed. His second marriage to Catherine Carpenter, though lasting, was also strained. McCallum's struggles with his mental health were well documented, and he often spoke of feeling disconnected from those closest to him. Despite his professional success in shows like NCIS, McCallum's personal life remained turbulent, and his death on September 25, 2023, at the age of 90 from natural causes marked the end of a long life filled with personal hardship and solitude. Angus Lennie played the role of Ives the Mole in The Great Escape, 1963, at the age of 33. His portrayal of the small, energetic character who digs tunnels to aid the prisoners' escape was heartbreaking, mirroring the grim fate of those fighting for survival in the POW camp. Despite the film's success, Angus's own life was fraught with tragedy. Though his career flourished in television and film, his personal life was marred by emotional turmoil. His first marriage ended in divorce, and he faced a long battle with loneliness, which was a shadow hanging over him throughout his life. In the latter years of his career, Angus struggled with health problems and financial difficulties, and his joy seemed to have faded with age. His death on September 14, 2014, at the age of 84, came after a battle with pneumonia, surrounded by family in his final moments, but the years of personal pain and loss cast a long shadow over his later years. Gordon Jackson, who played MacDonald Intelligence in The Great Escape, 1963. At 40, Jackson was already an established actor when he portrayed the sharp, analytical intelligence officer in The Great Escape. His personal life, however, was marked by profound struggles. Jackson's first marriage to actress Una Stubbs ended in divorce, and his second marriage was also fraught with difficulties. As he battled bone cancer in his later years, his health worsened, and his emotional and physical isolation deepened. Jackson's private life was often overshadowed by his emotional detachment from his family, which further compounded his suffering. His death on January 15, 1990, at the age of 66 after a battle with bone cancer was the tragic final chapter of a life spent grappling with illness, emotional turmoil, and personal loneliness. Nigel Stock, who played Cavendish the Surveyor in The Great Escape, was 44 when filming began in 1963. Cavendish's role was that of the meticulous and precise individual who helped survey the tunnels, a role which highlighted the fragility of the prisoners' hopes for freedom. Nigel's life off-screen, however, was nothing like the character he portrayed. His career, though full of stage and television roles, was often overshadowed by personal misfortune. His first marriage ended in a bitter divorce, leaving him emotionally scarred, and he never quite found the happiness he sought in his second marriage. He was plagued by depression and anxiety, exacerbated by a sense of unfulfilled potential. He died unexpectedly on June 23, 1986, at the age of 66, after suffering a heart attack, a tragic and sudden end to a life spent quietly battling inner demons. His passing was a painful end to the precision and calmness of Cavendish. Hans Reiser, who portrayed Herkun in The Great Escape, was 44 when filming began in 1963. As a German officer, his role was integral to the oppressive environment of the camp, adding to the tension and frustration of the prisoners. But in contrast to his calm and authoritative on-screen persona, Hans's real life was marked by quiet suffering and profound sadness. His marriage was strained, and he faced growing isolation as his career began to slow down in the 1970s. He dealt with personal tragedy after personal tragedy, and by the time of his death, he had been estranged from much of his family. His struggle with health problems, both physical and mental, added to the burden he carried for most of his life. Hans passed away on June 14, 1992, at the age of 70 from a heart attack. His death seemed almost inevitable given the hardships he had endured, and those close to him felt that he had quietly borne the weight of his inner pain throughout his life. Robert Graf, who portrayed Werner the Ferret in The Great Escape, passed away. He was 40 when the film was made, playing a German guard whose role as the ferret heightened the tension and danger in the film. But his life took a far more tragic turn than anything he experienced on screen. Robert's career in acting was filled with promise, but his personal life was marred by a series of misfortunes. His marriage was troubled, and he found little solace in his personal relationships. As he struggled with mounting professional pressures and the anxiety of living up to expectations, Robert was diagnosed with cancer. His condition worsened rapidly, and he died young, leaving behind a legacy of unfulfilled potential. His death at the age of 42 on February 4, 1966, just 3 years after filming, was not just a loss to the film world but also a tragedy for those who knew the man behind the roles. Jud Taylor, who played Goff in The Great Escape, was 31 when he joined the film's ensemble cast. Goff was a lesser role, but one that still contributed to the dynamics of the prisoner group. Taylor's career was one that many would describe as underappreciated, with numerous television appearances that failed to propel him into the limelight. But the real tragedy of Jud's life was the ongoing instability and personal despair he faced. Married twice, Jud's relationships were turbulent, and the pain of failed marriages lingered throughout his life. He struggled to connect with his children, and the weight of his personal misfortunes seemed to follow him through the years. Despite his successes in acting, Jud never found happiness. His death on August 6, 2008, from heart failure at the age of 76 was the culmination of a life spent battling loneliness and internal conflict. Robert Freitag, who portrayed Captain Posen in The Great Escape, 1963, at the age of 47, was cast as a German officer whose cold demeanor added to the tension in the film. Freitag's career was largely defined by similar roles, and while he enjoyed a steady stream of work, his personal life was fraught with heartache. His first marriage ended in a painful divorce when his wife left him for another man, taking their children with her. His second marriage, which he entered in his later years, brought little happiness as his wife suffered from a long-term illness. The financial strain and emotional toll left Freitag deeply depressed, and he turned to alcohol to cope with his personal demons. The latter part of his life was marked by a series of personal and professional setbacks. He passed away on July 8, 2010, at the age of 94, from natural causes, his death marking the end of a life that, while successful in some respects, was ultimately overshadowed by personal failure and isolation. William Russell, who played Soren in The Great Escape, 1963, at the age of 39, portrayed a character whose brief interactions with the prisoners provided a poignant emotional depth. Though his role in the film was minor, it added richness to the story. Russell's career, however, was marked by a series of disappointments. He often found himself relegated to secondary roles, never quite reaching the stardom he desired. His personal life mirrored his professional struggles, as his first marriage ended in a bitter divorce after his wife discovered his infidelities. His second marriage, to an actress, was filled with pain when his wife was diagnosed with cancer and passed away, leaving him devastated. Russell battled depression and loneliness in his later years, with the weight of his past failures haunting him. He died on November 18, 2022, at the age of 98, from natural causes, his final years marked by isolation and regret, a life overshadowed by personal and professional unfulfilled promises. Robert Desmond, who portrayed Griffith Taylor in The Great Escape, 1963, was 41 when filming began. Desmond's character, a skilled tailor, created crucial disguises for the escape, showing his importance in the plot. Despite this, Desmond's own career was riddled with frustrations, as he struggled to secure substantial roles after the film. While his work in The Great Escape was memorable, it was followed by a series of lackluster roles that never allowed him to fully capitalize on his talents. His personal life mirrored his professional stagnation, as his marriage ended in divorce, and he became distanced from his children. The absence of a supportive family, combined with his declining career, led to periods of deep depression. Robert Desmond passed away on February 27, 2002, at the age of 80 from natural causes. His life ended quietly, reflecting a career that never lived up to its early promise and a personal life marked by emotional isolation. Lawrence Montaigne, who played Haynes in The Great Escape, 1963, was 32 at the time of filming. Haynes played a critical role in the escape plan, distracting the guards and aiding the prisoners' efforts. Montaigne's career, however, was never able to match the promise of his early successes. While he had some notable roles, he was often relegated to minor parts in both film and television, preventing him from gaining the recognition he deserved. His personal life was marked by multiple failed marriages, leaving him emotionally drained and estranged from his children. The combination of career setbacks and family difficulties took a heavy toll on Montaigne's mental health. He lived out his later years in a state of sadness, feeling largely forgotten. Lawrence Montaigne passed away on March 17, 2017, at the age of 86 from natural causes. His death came after a lifetime of professional and personal challenges, with much of his talent and potential left unrealized. George Mikell, who portrayed Lieutenant Dietrich in The Great Escape, 1963, was 34 when he started filming. Dietrich was a German officer, whose cold demeanor and rigid authority contributed to the escalating tension between the captors and the prisoners. Mikell's career, primarily consisting of playing antagonistic roles, became a double-edged sword, as he was frequently typecast in such parts. Though his acting was praised, the lack of variety in his roles led to a steady decline in his career. Mikell's personal life was equally filled with turmoil. His marriage ended in divorce, and he had no children to support him in later years. As he aged, Mikell faced isolation and loneliness, with his career largely forgotten. The actor passed away on May 12, 2020, at the age of 91 from natural causes. His death marked the quiet end of a life filled with unfulfilled potential, overshadowed by professional struggles and personal solitude. Karl-Otto Alberty, who played the menacing SS officer Steinach in The Great Escape, 1963, was 30 when filming began. Steinach's cold and commanding presence in the film left an indelible mark on viewers, but Karl-Otto's real-life struggles were far more tragic. His marriage to Greta, which began in the 1960s, was fraught with conflict and ultimately collapsed in the 1980s. Despite having a son, Eric, the emotional distance between them created a fractured family life. Karl-Otto's career, once promising, slowly dwindled, and he became increasingly withdrawn, battling depression and a sense of professional failure. He tried to find solace in his personal life but was often overcome by the ghosts of his past. His emotional and mental struggles took a significant toll on his health, and he lived the later years of his life in relative obscurity. Karl-Otto passed away on April 25, 2015, at the age of 81, after a life that was scarred by personal regrets and the inability to reconcile with the losses he faced. Tom Adams, who portrayed Dynamo in The Great Escape, 1963, was 25 years old when he took on the role. His character, tasked with creating diversions, played a crucial part in the escape plan, but his own life was marked by struggle. Tom married Maria in the early years of his career, but their relationship quickly soured as Maria battled mental health issues. Their marriage ended in divorce, leaving Tom to raise their daughter, Lucy, largely on his own. The emotional toll of his broken family, combined with a career that failed to live up to expectations, led Tom into a spiral of depression. In his later years, he was diagnosed with cancer, which he fought bravely. However, his health continued to decline, and he passed away on December 11, 2014, at the age of 76. His life, while marked by a promising start, ended tragically, shaped by loss, isolation, and the burden of unhealed wounds from his personal life. Who is your favorite character in The Great Escape show? How do you feel knowing that the actors have passed away? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thank you so much.